by looking at the new series figures. So here we have the 9th Doctor, and I have to say, after the first 8 figures, the Eccleston is quite a come down. He has the most dull costume of all the Doctors. I mean, he just looks more like a civilian figure than a Doctor. Overall, it's exactly the same Eccleston figure we've seen before. Lots of people were saying, oh, it's a new head sculpt. I don't know where they got that idea from, because the pictures don't show a new head sculpt. It's exactly the same figure. They didn't even repaint the jumper, which is what I was hoping they'd do. Maybe black, maybe the dark blue, but no, it's the same old burgundy release. I mean, overall, it's a good figure. It looks like Eccleston, it resembles him. The coat detailing's very nice. It's sort of black with a greeny-brown wash on it. You can't really see it so much on camera. But there's lots of texture to give it that battered leather effect. And he has the standard articulation in the neck, shoulders, biceps, elbows, wrists, waist, hips, and in the knees. No thigh articulation, though. And he comes with his sonic screwdriver. But I think overall, I mean, the head sculpt's very good. It does look like Eccleston. I think is quite a decent head sculpt, and it's a lot better than the original Dalek Battle Pack and Regeneration set Eccleston, which is the disco dancing version. Overall, yeah, not the best figure. It's more disappointing that they didn't even repaint the jumper or anything. But yeah, I suppose that's all we're ever going to get with Eccleston. I doubt we'll see many versions of his Doctor ever again. The next of the new Doctors is Tennant. Now, we've got the standard 10th Doctor body that we've had since Wave 1 back in 2006. It's the blue and red suit, pinstripe suit with the red plimsolls, as seen in Series 3 and in Series 4. This is a Series 4 figure, I suppose. Sontaran Stratagem. I was going to say Sontaran Experiment. The head sculpt. Well, this is interesting. Now, the original pictures, the prototypes, showed the normal Tennant head with glasses, which we've all come to know and love. But in actual fact, it's the End of Time head, repainted so he isn't battered, with glasses added on. They aren't removable, of course, because that would just be far too fiddly. But his head looks far too small for his body. Looks like his head's been shrunk. And the paint job on the face is pretty poor. Some of the brown of the hair has sort of hasn't covered all the sculpt of the hair. But it's the eyes. The eyes are sort of one higher and lower. The eyebrows are all a bit all over the place. He does look slightly drunk. So, I mean, if you turn it on the side, he looks a bit better. But overall, very underwhelming, especially in comparison to the other figures in the set. So, again, him and Eccleston, I'm not saying this because I have a vendetta against the new series, but I just don't think that their figures are as good as the other releases in the set. It's quite obvious that Character Options paid more attention to the classic Doctors than the new series ones, because they are basically just re-releases. Again, comes with a sonic screwdriver, no new articulation. Personally, I would have rather have had the tuxedo figure. I doubt we'll ever see that either. Or if not, I was hoping we'd just see a standard brown and blue pinstripe suit with the End of Time head, but clean, not the battered version. That's what I was originally hoping for. Instead, we've got a pretty poo plimsoll and glasses version. Another one. So, a bit underwhelming. Another Tennant to add to the collection of about 10 or 11. And so the final figure is Matt Smith. I really like the figure. However, upon taking this one out of the box, he seemed to just be sort of crammed in, but overall it's still very good. The thing that is a bit of a pity with this release is the paint job's absolutely atrocious, because there's marks on his nose, on just above his eyebrow. His shirt is covered in splashes of paint from his jacket. So that's a bit of a pity, but it's still a very good figure nonetheless. The tweed of the jacket is a nice sculpt, very similar to the texture of the Fourth Doctor coat. And the paint job on that's very good. Lots of darks, washes, getting into all the grooves, giving it that texture. Lots of creases and things on the legs and the shiny boots. And you have the bow tie, which is a separate piece, which is glued into a gap in the collar of the shirt. And the head sculpts, very good. It's very good likeness of Matt Smith. And it's cool that they've got the hair sort of being a separate piece to the head sculpt, which sort of floats down in front. And it gives it, it's better than just being sculpted directly to the head like they did with Tennant. And like the other figures, he's got his sonic screwdriver. And it's open. I hope one day they do a version of his sonic screwdriver that's closed. But I think overall it's a very, very good figure. But if you'd already bought the I don't know why I keep calling it the Time Crash set, the 11th Hour Crash set, or whatever you call it, or just the Wave 1 Series 5 Matt Smith, it's just exactly the same figure. I know there's not really much you can do. Maybe a jacketless blue version. I know the red version's for San Diego Comic-Con. Maybe a fez. We finally have all of the classic Doctors, therefore we have all of the television Doctors so far. My final thoughts on this set? Well, if you haven't got any of the classic figures, or you don't have any of the exclusives, like Hartnell, Troughton, and Pertwee, and McCoy, then definitely get this set, because obviously you'll get those if you don't have them already. And of course you'll get McGann, who, this is the first time we've ever seen his figure before. But if you already have these classic Doctors, you may want to pass on it if you're not really into the variants of the Doctors. But personally, I quite like having a few different costume variations, especially of the classic Doctors as well, because they do have quite notable differences. McGann himself is a highlight of the box set, because obviously we haven't seen a release of him. Like I said, the repaints as well are also really good. Bill, Pat, John, and Colin, all brand new repaints. Tom, a tweak and a repaint. Davison's just a tweak to the existing figure, and same for McCoy, a brand new head sculpt. The things that let this box set down are the new boys. Eccleston, just a re-release. Tennant, a very boring repaint, well, new-headed repaint. And the 11th Doctor is just the same old Wave 1 version. So overall, you're really buying this set for the first 8 Doctors. So if you're a fan of the classic series, definitely get this set. But if you actually want to get a McGann, I mean, I'm not sure if they'll ever release McGann separately, but the 8th Doctor figure itself is reason alone to purchase this set. And of course, it comes in a very nice window box. Quite big, it's not huge. The Matt Smith TARDIS, and then it's just a nice window box, and the TARDIS doors open, just attached by Velcro. And then you have little bits of information on all of the Doctors. So, overall, I think it's a very nice set. And then around the back, in case you don't know, in case you haven't opened the box to see who's who, it just says who's the first Doctor, and so on. The pictures on the back are, of course, unarticulated prototypes. So, thank you for watching this review, guys. My next review shall be the Silver Nemesis Cybermen from Forbidden Planet and Underground Toys. That'll be followed by the Unearthly Child Flight Control TARDIS review. And then I shall be moving on to the San Diego Comic-Con figures, if I can get them. Don't know if they're going to be selling these at Forbidden Planet, but that is Peter Davison, the 5th Doctor Regeneration costume. That's the 5th Doctor in the 4th Doctor's final season costume, the burgundy outfit. Planet of Fire box set, that's the 5th Doctor with Panama hat with the Master, or Amelia.